questions to ask throughout a campaign with the confidence rising. I told WDF don't switch, good times are coming on for deep diving. Fan cams, reactions, watch along, still the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South, they flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.
Yes, guys, welcome. This is the match reaction to Crystal Palace 1, Manchester Who 1.
Boychester divided, bruv. Boychester divided.
Yeah, I think before we start off, I'd just like to say thank you very much for everyone that's been subscribing lately. We've had a pretty massive growth so far. Just this year alone, we've hit 1,250 subs.
The road to 2K is closing down quick, boy.
Yeah, we're still in January. We're a quarter way to our goal. So, listen, guys, thanks for the support, and we're still here with the content. Don't worry about it. But Nate, tell me about that game, man. Because I tell you what, being at Sellers Park, I was stressed because we deserved a point, and the point came late, but the point came eventually. How's it going,
bro? I can't lie. I wasn't happy with a lot of things about last night because our passing was all over the place. To be fair, so was theirs. But had you offered me a point before a ball had been kicked, I would have snapped your hand off. So we could have won it, and we got away with a penalty decision that if it was going our way, we'd be screaming penalty. But we've stopped the rot, and that's the main thing. You know, wins against the lesser opposition will come, hopefully. But last night was just literally just stop this run of L's because we've got more L's than this in a Welsh town. So it was just getting annoying at one point. I'm like, nah, I can't keep doing this. But big up to the one and only Mr. Structure. I know he probably doesn't want to talk about last night more than we do.
No, I actually do. I talk about it more when we lose than when we win. When we win, it's easy. I analyze the games more when we lose.
Well, what can you analyze from the game then?
From the game, that first half, I thought we did really well. Controlled you guys. I thought we started you up the ball. I thought we nullified your big threats. I think that the Edouard shot, the Gea save, came from against the run of play. It was one attack that you had, and then you got through, and then you hit the bar. That would have been a spectacular goal. Second half, a different team turned up. Second half, we gave you the game, basically. And to be honest with you, you should have beat us. Second half, our passing was all over the place. You were setting traps for us in midfield, and we kept playing into that. Hughes was picking up the ball. Your wide guys, Sahar and the other young brother, they went narrow, and they would come a bit deep to pick up the ball and turn on us. And that caused a big gap between our defense and midfield. And we were scrambling, and the game became like a ping-pong table tennis, kind of like you'd go. But second half, we didn't create jack. I don't remember your goalkeeper making saves. And it was really interesting, actually. We didn't create anything until you scored. And for 2 minutes, the game was kind of crazy. And we create another day. That ball comes off Casemiro's knee and goes to the back of the net. Another day, Saha's through, and Juan Bissaka is not on the pitch, and nobody can make that challenge. And you win 2-1. So in that second half, it was probably one of the most shocking performances that I've seen from us recently. It was totally just, I couldn't believe what I was watching. The possession we gave away, especially Casemiro, the amount of times we gave the ball away, was incredible. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I think that you singled out Hughes there. He had a great game, but his passing was not at it at all. I think I don't think I could tell you how many times that he went steaming into a challenge, came out with a ball, and just passed it straight to Casemiro. I'm thinking he'd done all that good work, and now look. But I tell you what, I reckon that's all ring rust, isn't it? I reckon the more he plays, he'll get more confident playing in front of a crowd again, and it'll be like the Hughes of when we bought him, because when he was playing in midfield with Gallagher and Kouyaté, he was actually very good, and we actually had a very nice midfield then. So if he can keep playing and Vieira keep picking him, which is probably the main concern for all Palace fans, if he gets picked, I reckon that we could keep this team's exact, maybe this exact 11 and just run with it, because I think that Eze being dropped was probably the kick up the arse he needed, because when he came on, he was unreal, and he's been pretty invisible lately. What do you think, Nate?
Boy, I mean, it's mad. You look at losing Anderson last week at Chelsea, and everybody was thinking, oh, Christ, Anthony against James Tompkins. This is going to be a massacre. But we saw Chris Richards in the lineup, and obviously I've slated Chris Richards, so I'm more than willing to eat humble pie on this one. He had a fantastic game yesterday, as did Will Hughes. You mentioned Eze getting dropped. Him and Schlupp actually played far better coming off the bench when they had something to come into, rather than starting the game and looking like a headless chicken. Having said that, I'm just happy that people like Edouard have started to get a bit more respect of the fan base, because people kept saying, oh, drop Edouard, he's worse than Mateta. And I'm like, play them together and play Edouard in the 10, which wouldn't have been my position, which would have been my choice. So I just seen Rich's comment. Look, last night, that wouldn't have been the lineup I would have expected, but I'm happy to see it, because it proves that Vieira is not as stubborn as we think he is, because he's picked the same lineup week in, week out, and the same things happened. He changed it this time around, and look what happened. And I know Richards probably got away with the penalty shout there, but I've looked at it a number of times, and I think he got a touch to the ball. Not a clear touch, but enough of a touch that they said, no, it ain't a penalty. And to be fair, Nuruddin, I know as a United fan, you might not agree, but let's be honest, if that's the other end, we're not getting that penalty. There's no way in hell we're getting that penalty. So,
what? I mean,
it goes against you.
No, 100%. I'm one thing I'm actually proud of is the majority of the fan base that was on YouTube or in the spaces on Twitter today and last night. Nobody talked about that really. We found out for years, innit, after Fergie retired, that we were never going to get anything for a decade or so from referees, because, he will come out and he was a big personality in world football. So leaving it, like where we leave it to a referee, that game, second half, we didn't deserve anything. Like I said to you, we were all on a high because we've been playing fantastic lately, after the big win against City, where nobody gave us a chance. Nobody. And I mean nobody gave us a chance. We did what we did to City. We stopped them. And then I thought when we went ahead, we deservedly went ahead against you lot. But the second half, it was like Jekyll and Hyde. Zero control. Like, properly, I've been in that stadium throughout the years, yeah, and I've seen United play better, like really loads better in the second half and lose. You know what I mean? Where your keeper was bad of the match, we've hit the post, we've hit the bar. Do you know what I mean? In that kind of sense, there was none of that. Yeah. There was absolutely none of that yesterday. I don't remember, other than maybe in injury time, your goalkeeper making a save, and I think it was Garnacho. Like he made a save.
But it was right at him as well, so it wasn't really a save, was it?
He didn't have to do that. Catch it. He didn't even have to like.
And that's what it was. And I think that was our only shot on target in the whole of the second half. So for me, when I look at the second half performance, it was the most Jekyll and Hyde performance ever. And I actually didn't think you played that well. You could tell that you're tentative. You played like a team that has been on a lot of losses lately. The confidence and the swagger that was there early on in the season. With your rotation, with your best ballers on the pitch. Ayew, Sahar, and the one who came on again, number 10 who came on last night.
Eze.
Eze. So none of that, all that swashbuckling one-touch football that I kept seeing when you got good results at home. Like when you beat Leeds, you know what I mean? Even though Leeds, I think for a half they had you, but the football you did to get out of there and to get the second and stuff like that, we didn't. And the maddest thing about it, what really disappointed me and what hurt, was that our coaching staff and our manager sat there and watched that. And we thought we'd be good enough, not understanding, and I was saying it to Rich, big up Rich, by the way, the history of this fixture. There's so much history between Crystal Palace and Man United, like from 1990, FA Cup final, the replay, all of the history that goes into this. This game, Palace always turn out against Man United. And I always wondered, even seasons where you went down, I always wondered and I used to think, well, what's going on here? Like, how come you come out against us, but you don't try like the teams in and the teams around? How come you don't beat when you can put great performances against us? But in the recent years, you have become our bogey team. You have, and your record at Old Trafford, the record here, we've you know, we don't win. You know what I mean? I think we would have won. We should have played you on that weekend, and there was no reason for that game got postponed. Your game got postponed. We could have played it on that weekend because we could have come down to London and played you. You know, when the Queen thing happened, we could have played you that weekend. We could have well played you. So it's one of those things. And the Premier League now, we show that we've had the toughest fixture in the Premier League out of the so-called Big Six. We've played all of the top boys. And when we played, we played City twice already. We're going to play Arsenal Sunday twice already. And we've played more than Man City and Arsenal. We've played 6 games. Like, you know what I mean? And then to put this game in this midweek when we've got a massive game against Arsenal was gonna be one of those. So at the end of the day, Casemiro had to play for me. I'm not one of these United fans who are moaning. Casemiro had to play. And that was always going to come because you've got tricky guys who can, on the break, who can do damage.
Nuruddin, just quickly on the Casemiro yellow card, obviously everyone's fear was just keep him out of your yellow card, take him off. Were you thinking at the 70th minute, you're thinking just take him off, even if it means bring on McTominay, bring on Fred, bring on whoever? Obviously, in hindsight now, you'd say, why didn't he take him off? Save him for the Arsenal game, because I know a lot of people have said already, oh, well, United beat Arsenal without Casemiro, but with Casemiro, that's a bigger threat to Arsenal. Now, obviously, with the Arsenal game on Sunday, I just want to know, like, I think you should be confident going into it because Arsenal and Man United have been 2 of the best teams this season, to be truthful, without trying to throw cap on it. But do you think the decision not to take him off has proved to be has been proved to be costly?
Our whole game management in the second half was like, so nothing surprised me because the way we played, and actually he was one of the worst players on the pitch, giving the ball away for Man United. Defensively, he was good. On the ball, he was disturbing. You think Hughes was giving the ball away? I mean, it's a bad pass for him from the yellow card. If you look at that pass again, it's a bad pass to Bruno. Bruno done just this mad flick, other than put his body first. He would have took the tackle, the foul. He could have got the foul. And then that, I'm just like, what is happening? And then I actually thought it was quite a reckless challenge. And he was lucky that VAR didn't make too much of it because it was quite high if you look at it.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that. It's very high. I think looking at it now, put it this way: if that was a Palace player on a United player, we're probably going to get a player sent off for that, because it's sort of like a scissor kick, isn't it? Because both his legs are going in, and his front leg's very high, and it looks like it studs up on Zaha's knee.
No, 100%. It was quite high. But the thing that what works, I knew that wasn't going to be a red card. It was exactly the same for your guy, because I think that was an elbow, because his elbow goes back. He doesn't try to jump leverage. His elbow goes back. If you look at it, it was one of those, and I was like, it's not even not even like, be careful on Martinez. And I knew he was going to let the game go and those kind of robust physical challenges go. So I didn't think it would red card, but when I looked at it again, I was thinking that referee already set the tone with letting that one go. Because to me, Martinez is short, but that was an elbow. Like, because if you watch that couple of minutes before, Martinez is trying to get at the back of him and annoy him. And it was just a pure frustration. He jumped obviously to get leverage. But if you watch it again, his elbow goes back. It goes back. It goes backwards. So he let it go. But we were obviously on a high after the derby. 10 games would have been a record. Rashford would have scored. It would have been a record. So we were chasing all these records. And it was a reality check because they didn't turn up in the second half. And to be fair to you, second half, like, you don't deserve it. Like, we have to deserve it. And we didn't deserve it.
Absolutely.
And the free kick, I don't think that kid is ever going to hit a better free kick than that. I'll say it now. In his Crystal Palace career, he's never going to hit a better free kick than that. And that's
the second one he scored, though, because he scored
No, he'll score, but not a one good like that. Like, In and off the bar.
No,
in and off the bar, in the top bins. Like, it's in the box, in and off the bar on the box.
Yeah.
It was Luke Shaw who gave that foul away. And again, Luke Shaw's been amazing for us. But old habits never leave a player. Because when he's got to face his own goal, and he's got the recovery pace, and he's got the strength, other than make a clean tackle, he brings the guy down.
Just quickly, we're going to bring in Pat because he's been waiting very, very patiently. Pat, what do you want to say about the game last night?
I am exhausted after that game. Exhausted.
Okay.
Are you exhausted because you're happy? Because you're sad we didn't win? Like,
because the game.
What do you think of the game?
No, I'm happy because we got a point and we deserved a point. It was like end to end, and that Casemiro, I can't remember, but like there was a corner for Man United, and it came off his body, and then if it was right next to his foot, that is Charity Professional Football Club once again.
I think the thing that's funny about it was I watched that one back, and if you it's the slightest of touches, but Ayew gets his head on it a little bit, which pushes it up a bit because Casemiro's going with his foot, isn't it? Because Ayew gets his head on it a little bit, it goes above his foot, sort of onto his thigh.
Yeah. I was expecting I was expecting Garnacho to score because I haven't seen him score apart from when he scored against Fulham, and as we all know, we love letting people score if they haven't scored in ages or scored ever. So yeah, I was expecting it, but we deserved that point.
I think if you talk about people that haven't scored yet or haven't scored in a while, the one I was more afraid of was Weghorst because it's his debut, isn't it? So I'm thinking,
yeah.
I was just waiting for the notification goal out of Weghorst. I was thinking, here we go. I'm gonna have to bang out that advert again on the match reaction. This should be fun, but
we don't have to play it today.
Yeah, we don't have to play it for today. Maybe on the weekend, but Pat, who was your man of the match?
It's either Will Hughes or Chris Richards. I'm saying Will Hughes because he was way better than Jeffrey Schlupp. Way better.
100%. Pat, how are you feeling about the Newcastle game just before we let you go?
I'm a bit nervous, but a bit like we could get a point because we played great against Man United, but we are very inconsistent.
Very true.
Well, we were good against Chelsea, so that's 2 games in a row, to be fair. So why not carry on?
Well, Pat, thank you very much for your time. Anybody else want to have their say? The link is in the chat. I'll just highlight it now. But Pat, thank you very much for your time, my friend.
Peace. Big up the GOAT. Big up Nate.
Big up, Pat. Big up. Right, Nuruddin.
Newcastle are a physical team, by the way. They're going to bully you, but it's whether you can sustain it. They're a very physical team. They've got the striker back. They're on fire. They're just going with pure momentum. They hardly lose any games. If you come out and get something out of that game, I think your season can turn around. You could because they're a very physical team.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've got like 3 or 4 clean sheets in a row, don't they? They don't concede goals.
They are a very physical team. I mean, they've drawn about 8 or something like that this season, but they're the type of team are so physical that they can nick it. So you have to score to get a result because they're definitely going to score. Because last night, honestly, I'm not lying to you, we let you off the hook. Massively let you off the hook. Second half, we didn't play. That's the most disappointed I've been. We got beat by Villa 3-1. We made more chances in the second half against Villa than we did last night. And that's mad. And we were losing that game. You know what I mean? Like, it was just mad. I don't know what was happening. I don't know what it was. Was it fatigue? Was it emotional fatigue? What
Nuruddin, a friend of mine who's United fan, he said to me, he believes the players had their eye on the Arsenal game.
But you can't do that.
It doesn't matter.
No, to me, that's so unprofessional. That is so unprofessional.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think they played. They didn't. They weren't looking at the Arsenal game in the first half when they were ahead. When they got ahead, but I think when they came out second half, I think they in their heads it looked like they were playing like they've already won the game. That's how I saw it.
What
And
was
then-
it like? You guys watching Man United not making chances, not attacking you, giving
I
the
was
ball away?
loving it.
What
I
were
was
you guys?
loving it. You guys were terrible. I was loving it. Every single misplaced pass, thinking, yeah, I think Mitchell got, a Premier League record, didn't he, of the most interceptions by one player in a Premier League match. He got 8 interceptions. And I didn't think Mitchell had a good game. I didn't think he had one of his better games, but
No.
he broke a record. So it must show how bad you guys' passing was.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just,
I mean,
it's just a shame that our passing was just as bad.
Yeah, for
Because
me,
If
for
we
me, you know
if we
what?
pass so badly, we probably could have cut you guys open a few more times.
You know what? Watching that second half, I was thinking they're here for the taking. And I remember a United friend of mine over here texted me, and he was like, "If you actually had a bit more attacking impetus, you'd cut through us." Because he was getting more aggravated with every misplaced pass United were putting on, and he says, he said, "This is Chuckle Brother football. To me, to you, to me, to you." Because it was literally a case of who can pass the ball worse, us or United. So I could understand from a United perspective, you're looking at the lack of attacking impetus in the second half and thinking, why didn't we kill the game off? Obviously, the penalty would have done that had you scored it. There's no guarantee you would have, but Guaita's record at penalties is atrocious. So 99% of the time, you're scoring that penalty if it were given. But it was just a weird one because this is the least confident we've been at home for so long after taking 3 consecutive home defeats in all comps. And last night, the commentators were even saying, when I was listening to the audio on the Palace app, they were saying, Palace can get something here. And lo and behold, Mo and the Magic from Elise did that. But it's crazy because now we've still got a very horrible run to get through. Newcastle, Brighton, Man United, Brentford, a couple of other teams as well.
Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal as well. Well, oh, yeah, Arsenal. But having gotten something from a position where we probably didn't expect it, we now can go into those games knowing, right, when we're on it, we might be able to snatch something, but we have to be very clinical, which we haven't been all season because we spent a number of games that we've lost this season where we've been the better side for a half and then just gone to sleep like United did last night in Meridian. So that's the frustration because we're looking at it going, we've got Edouard on the pitch, Eze on the pitch, Elise on the pitch, Zaha on the pitch, and not one of them can get a shot on target or a pass to each other. My God in heaven, we may as well play the kids or the Palace ladies team. They'd all do a better job. It's been just so bad, and I think that's just Vieira's been let down in the transfer market because we're thinking to ourselves, we could do with a few more bodies, but apparently we've got no money to spend. We can only rely on loan players. That hasn't burnt us before.
There's an update on that I've got for you guys actually.
Mm-hmm.
So with it sort of concerns what Nicky said in the chat with what the Fanatics put up. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on the internet, but they basically put up a big banner saying multi-club ownership, stock market gambling, Texter, we don't trust you. So that's sort of an indicator of we don't know what Texter's doing with his money, why are we not putting money into the club, etc. However, I think that we're all getting the wrong end of the stick. So Ed Aarons, who is a very well-known guy, very reputable guy when it comes to Crystal Palace news, he's basically said that Parish and Texter have had a big falling out. Just before they had a big falling out, Texter purchased more of Crystal Palace, which indicate 20 million more, which indicates that he could own 50%, which means he would have a half/majority stake of Crystal Palace now. And apparently it's Parish is the one that doesn't want to spend the money because Texter's getting frustrated because we're not splashing the cash. Because he wants to spend, but Parish doesn't want to spend. But that's what Ed Aarons is saying right now.
Okay, that is
which is it's a lot different to what everyone's actually thinking. We're all thinking Texter's dashed in his money, got us all on side, and then now he's just take. But apparently it's the other way. I wouldn't say it's the other way around, but I think that Parish is a bit more reserved when spending the money because I think he wants to buy the right player and not just any player. And Texas getting a bit frustrated because we're more than halfway through the window. 11 days to go, and there's not even a solid link. They're not even one. Like there's links here and there, but there's nothing concrete. There's nothing
quiet.
Yeah, exactly. But this is way different to what I'm.
Has JC been nippened?
I think he might have been frozen.
I think JC's been nippened. Mad. That's a very unfortunate freeze frame as well.
Brilliant technology, mate.
Hilarious.
Hilarious. Yeah, it's gonna be. You know what? It's gonna be very interesting games for you. I think 100%. And I worry. Like I said, I worry for you guys because you need something. I think you need to freshen up. You need a couple of 2 players, I think. And the only thing I would say tactically, playing 3 in the middle would definitely solidify you a little bit more. Playing 4-3-3. Who you had in the first half, we were super dominant against you in the 2 players that you had in midfield. But he's incredible. What's the name? Decore?
Decore, yeah. Sheikh Decore.
Oh. I look at Fred and McTominay and I look at him on the ball. I'm like, huh? Even though, to be fair, he's the one that went to sleep. Well, he was telling somebody to get somebody. Well, he was not doing his job. For Ericsson.
Yeah, between him, Klein, and I think it was it Anderson? Between the 3 of them, all pointing that, well, one of you bloody close him down. But yeah, but that's Charity Professional Football Club called you. What's that?
Did he play two in the middle? I'm trying to remember. Was it 2? Was it him and Hughes in the middle?
I think
With
it was
Edward ahead of him.
It was Edward in the 10 and Hughes and Decore either side, with Elise on the right, Zaha left, and Mateta up top.
Edward, I don't think he worked for me. He didn't work as a number 10. He didn't work.
I think he did.
He played better there, you know.
He played very well there.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying to you, in terms of like when we were on the transition, we outnumbered you. So it was our 3 against your 2. And that's why we were a bit more dominant. And obviously Ericsson, as every United fan knows, Ericsson's always got the energy in the first half. Come the second half, it's like he's ready for bed. Bless him. Like he's ready for his
we know what Ericsson can do. He's tormented us for years at Tottenham, tormented us when he was at Brentford, so we kind of knew what to expect on that one. But JC, who was your man of the match? Because I know you did. I know you had a fan cam, but for me, I have to give it to Chris Richards. I thought he was superb.
I have to give it to Decore. I think it'll be rude to give it to anyone other than him because I know Hughes was good, but I think we're probably overhyping it because it's his first game back and he played very well, but he didn't play as well as Decore. Decore just swept up everything. He was composed on the ball. He was making slide tackles. He was getting nothing but ball every single time. And he sort of brought like a calmness when Man United were pressing that we just have lacked in previous seasons. Like he done something similar to what Brighton do, where they hold the ball, bait in a press, and then play over the top. He did that so many times. Ericsson ran towards him, and he just lifted the ball over his head straight to Elise, who had a free run on one-on-one with Shaw. So I've got to give it to Decore. Defensively excellent, and his passing was brilliant as well.
And he's finally tried to stop shooting from 45 yards out.
I actually don't mind him shooting. I really don't, because I put it this way: I'd much rather someone shoot than us just waste a chance like we always do. No,
JC, don't get me wrong. I'm all here. I'm all for him trying to have a go because you want to see that from your team. But it's just when he's sending it straight into the back of the homestead, it's like, big man, keep it on the ground if you have to. Hit a daisy cutter because that shot against Chelsea, if that went in, that would have been mad.
How old is he and how much did it cost you?
He's 21, I believe.
He's 22, and we bought him for 22 million.
He's got a future, mate. He's got a high ceiling. If he can
we done him dirty though, because he came from Lens, and they're now second in in the league, so they're in a Champions League spot, and now he's here.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
but in
that-
fairness,
You don't sign him without Vieira, innit? He's that kind of signing, isn't it?
yeah, 100%. We don't get him without Vieira as manager. Hodgson would never get a play like that at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
No way in hell.
For me, he looked good. And Elise, right? So is he French by birth or is he from London?
Born in London to a French,
Your winger.
Nigerian mother and a Nigerian father, hence the last name Elise. So he technically could play for England, Nigeria, Algeria, and France.
Well, last night they put it on the thing when it was on telly. There was like France. So he
Yeah, yeah,
because he currently plays for the French national team, but the under-19s, I think.
Yeah.
He looks like a West star as well. And I see why he's in the team now. So you about Star's contracts. You're quite chilled about him because he's got future as well. He can only get better. I just worry for y'all, obviously. I'm not shy away from saying that there ain't many black managers, and Vieira is a black manager. You know what I mean? And you want for other managers to get a chance. You need one that to be doing a good job and sustaining Crystal Palace, even though you completely transformed your style of football, the way you play. So be keeping an eye, obviously, on your results, and what all of us, you know what I mean? We keep an eye, obviously, because you've got really good players and you play entertaining brand of football. But I think your next 5-6 games is dangerous where you can be dragged into that. And the thing about it is that once the results go one way, you can be dragged into the bottom 3, bottom 4, hovering around there. You know what I mean? So I think if it means that you've got to change the way you play, and I hope Vieira understands that, like it has to be self-preservation, that you might have to just hustle out the one point here and there and not get beat that many often. You know what I mean? Be hard to beat.
Well, I mean, luckily for us, we got an awful lot of good points before the break for the World Cup. So
where are you again? Well, where are you in the table?
We're 12th at the minute.
But have you seen what the points between that and 14? It's not that many points, is it?
JC should be able to tell us. 1 second.
What was the question? Sorry.
What's the points between us in 12th and, say, for example, 14th?
I think it's 2. I'll just double check for you guys because it's very tight.
That's what I'm saying to you. It's very, very tight. Last time I looked, it's very tight. And all it takes is, in this league, you lose 2 and you could be in the draft.
We have 23 points right now. 13th has 20. 14th has 17. So we're still 6 points ahead of 14th. However, 14th is 17 points. 15th is 17 points. 16th, 17 points. 17th is 16 points. And then the rest have 15 points. So basically, if Southampton win, they jump to 14th.
Crazy.
And that's 20th place. You jump up 6 places if you get 1 win. That's how tight it is down there.
Yeah. I just hope
for all the doom and gloom we've been hearing, last night will hopefully be a turning point because granted, we do have an impossible run of games where it's not looking good. But when we play them lot on the South Coast, form goes out the window. As good as they are, all it takes is to upset the apple cart. Because remember, when we played them at the Amex last season, people were waxing lyrical about them. We were the better side in that game. Only for a last-minute howler from Anderson did we not take 3 points in that game. And then the game at Sellers Park, again, the far better side. But one madness got them a point. Sorry, Nuruddin, sorry?
Where's this mad rivalry come from? They're not even a London team.
It's a long story, but to be fair, we're not playing Charlton or Millwall anytime soon, so we had to pick someone. But no, it's a long story with Brighton. It's a long story. I'm not going to go into it here.
I'll put it this way, no matter the form, it's always a draw.
It goes years back, yeah? It goes years back, okay.
76, something like mid-70s.
Wow.
So it's it wasn't just, oh, look, they're closest to us, they'll do. It's like, no, it's more to do with Mallory and Venables. That's the kind of start of it because they hate each other at Tottenham, and there's a whole different story towards it after that. But Yeah, we don't like them. They don't like us. Let's leave it at that and move on.
It's weird. It's really weird for somebody who's not from that. You know what I mean? Outside of it, looking in, it's like. But then it's historic. It's like United and Leeds, isn't it? They hate us. You know what I mean? But our biggest rival.
No, yours makes more sense because of the War of the Roses and Yorkshire and Lancashire. It kind of does make more sense. But to be fair, look, it works for us. Southampton and Portsmouth don't care about them, and Bournemouth, So, but anyway,
let's do some comments. We haven't actually touched on them at all.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about them. Guys, hit the link.
Yeah,
come in here. Tell us how great Elise's free kick is, because I think we're all still stunned with it. Was a point. Big up, lads. RHEA out here saying subscribe to Eagle Eyed Football. Elise played awful until the goal. 100%. He was
He was pretty bad.
Elise is one of them guys, where he plays at his own pace, and he's not going to change his own pace for the game. He's just going to have to wait for his one moment where the game suits his pace, because he's not going to speed himself up for it. But that's just how he is, though. The
fact that he didn't celebrate is still making me laugh, because people are going mad on Twitter about it. I'm like, that's Elise. Look at his West Ham reaction. That told you everything.
Yeah, I saw a quote, and I very highly doubt he actually said it. It's probably just some stupidness on it on social media. But someone said, he said, it's just my job. A postman wouldn't celebrate when he puts a letter through the door. It's just his job. I
some stupidness, but
I highly doubt he said that. But that's sort of the vibes I get from him. Like, he's here to do a job. He's cold-blooded. Remember when they were doing the media day, and Eze was telling them, "I do your celebration," and man went like this. He's a gangster. He's a gangster.
No, it's just people forgot about the West Ham. Will passed me the ball. I shot. I scored. It was a goal.
Is it a good feeling? Yes.
Just so deadpan and dry. You're like, that's Michael, all right.
Yeah, definitely. Man of very few words, isn't he?
Big up, Brush.
Hey, listen, less is more at some points, because when you get people chatting, that says a lot. But to see Will Hughes have such a good game against Chelsea and body Conor Gallagher, and then this game, apart from his passing, have another good game, I was thinking, why wasn't he starting over Schlupp, who literally is a walking turkey?
Unless he comes on as a sub.
Yeah, but that's what he's good at. He's good as an impact sub. But, people, hit the link if you want to have your say. We're going to leave the lines open for a little bit longer. But
Louis, jump in.
Yeah, Louis, jump in, man. It's there for you. But
you got your YouTube channel going.
Yeah, 100%. But Chris Richards, he had a fantastic game. One or two, towards the end, he was knackered. But mate, I'm willing to say I got it wrong. I'm not afraid to say I got it wrong on him, because he had a stellar game. I'm not even going to lie.
Oh, I had a little dig at him on Transfer Weekly on Monday, I think.
I know, yeah. But hey, look, that's the point.
I've been shut up completely.
Hey,
but
listen.
I'm very happy that he has shut me up, because
you know what I mean. This is the thing, because I tweeted out Michael Elise is so lazy. He then bangs in the free kick, and someone tweeted me and said, "Is he still lazy?" I said, "Oh yeah, he's still lazy." Look, that's the thing with being a fan. If you put something out there that people are going to flame you for, when you're proven wrong, you go, I got it wrong. Hands up, I got it wrong. And I've said to people, when I'm proven wrong, I'll be the first to say I got it wrong. When I'm proven right, I'm going to tweet Charity Professional Football Club, which I've been doing for 3 weeks running. But last night, I didn't have to tweet it, apart from when we went 1-0 down. But hey, old habits and that.
Interesting. Charity,
let's do some
giving it away for free, yeah.
And I know it didn't trust me. I've said Charity Professional Football Club so much, it's beginning to get a bit of traction. I went, wait a minute. Is that actually becoming a thing? Sweet. Mission accomplished. But yeah, Charity Professional Football Club. If you don't know, you'll see it in full effect. Don't worry.
Yeah. we've got it all in it. I mean, we've got loads for United. Oh my God, it's like Bottle Job FC, Cowardly FC. We've got it all. But at least they revenged it, and I took away the Cowardly FC. I had to take it away after they beat City because the reverse fixture was a joke. It's an absolute joke. Like 4-0 down in 43 minutes in a derby. No chance. That's complete bottle job. That's complete coward. They're not bottle job, they're coward. That was coward.
JC, I will say, yeah, certain Man United YouTube channel reactions to Olise's free kick had me dying this morning because they went ape shit. I understand why, because it's a gutting thing to concede so late in the game. But now people know how we felt with Arsenal last season and Brighton last season. It hurts, man. It really hurts.
Yeah.
It's funny.
But on the other end of it,
they shouldn't be that gutted because you could have won. Wan-Bissaka, mate, turned his season around, turned his form around. Guys be AWOL, and they just come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
man.
that was proof he ain't coming back because it was like, yeah, that's the Aaron we sold. That's the Aaron Wan-Bissaka we sold. That's why we got 50 million for him, because when all these United fans would text me and be like, oh, Wan-Bissaka's rubbish, take him back. I went, no, give him a chance. Watch, he'll prove you wrong. And they're like, I said, so is Dallo better than him? No. It's like, yeah, I didn't think so. I said, I told you, man. Don't disrespect my club's academy like that. Yeah,
I think with all the Man United fans gassing up Dallo, and then all the Palace fans saying, no, Wan-Bissaka's clear of this fraud. Now Man United fans are seeing it. They're seeing that Dallo's just a fraud, bruv. He's just Trent without dreadlocks.
Listen, Cope is no longer a myth. Don't disrespect Cope like that.
He's been one of our best players, actually, in terms of understanding the system, because the system where we play, whether he's underlapping, where he's overlapping, the different positions he takes up. But since Wan-Bissaka's going to come in the team against City, Wan-Bissaka, nobody would ever said it. I mean, I did a thing and Saeed turned it into I think he's on TikTok. And I basically said, like, he was the most composed player against Man City on the ball. On the ball. He was the most composed player. They couldn't get the ball off him, City. They pressed him in a triangle. And he was making man eat grass. And it was super surreal to see this. And he was actually the reason why when I was at the stadium, the reason why we all got involved in the games because of him. He changed the game just by his running, by him being composed on the ball, him having a shot that went for a corner. And then the game changed, and the Old Trafford crowd got into the game, and then rest is history, basically. But it's funny what Sahar said afterwards. Like, he said he looked and he was like, "Oh, he's orange." He's orange. He's like, "Only he could do that tackle."
Because he's come out, because Zaha's come out publicly when Wan-Bissaka was still with us, and he said that Wan-Bissaka's the only player that he's ever trained with or played against that he couldn't dribble past.
Yeah.
And I think that's still the case.
Well, the thing that I say, just watching him and analysing him for United, the thing about him, one-on-ones, forget it. I've not seen anybody beat him. I mean, you had Mbappe and Neymar running at him, you know what I mean, against PSG, like at PSG's ground, and he put them all to sleep, you know what I mean, tucked them up in bed, you know what I mean, both of them. But the biggest thing about it for me, because obviously he used to be a winger, and he was only did a season as a right back with York for the season in the Premier League, is his positional sense. So Wan-Bissaka, when you pass around him, he sometimes doesn't know where to be positionally. And when the ball is switched on the back post from the right-hand side, he sleeps on that ball. He goes too central and leaves his man on the back post. So positionally, is what he needs to improve. If Aaron Bissaka can improve a bit more tidy on the ball, bit more and massively on the positioning, it'll be amazing. It'll be amazing, brother. Honestly, positional sense for me. When you try to pass him and try to do him on the triangle and third man runs, he's not good at it. He's not good at it.
Nuruddin, you'll love this, right? A Liverpool mate of mine texted me last night and he's like, "Oh, no wonder you sold Wan-Bissaka. He's so crap." Then he made that challenge on Zaha, and I went, "That's why he went for £50 million, mate. He might not be the best going forward, but defensively, yeah, he's miles clear of that dreadlock fraud Trent, man like pineapple. because I went, don't chat to me about Trent defensively, big man. He ain't no defender. The guy is a winger that can't get in the team ahead of Salah. And he texts back, yeah, you might be right there. I said, okay, then. Don't disrespect Cope as Cope like that, yeah? We actually produce good players at Crystal Palace. We don't just buy players like Liverpool. You know what I'm saying? But JC, let's do the player ratings because we need to wrap this.
All right, yeah. Let's start with.
Guys, listen, it's been a pleasure. Big up to all
Hey,
guys.
Nuruddin, thanks for coming through.
Yeah,
guy.
it was a good game, but I hope that this kickstarts your season. Yeah, I hope this kickstarts your season. Definitely.
Yeah,
I really hope.
We hope so as well.
I really hope that. Take care.
Look,
Nice one.
Cool.
We'll do this again at Old Trafford, mate. Thanks for coming
Pleasure.
on.
Yeah. What? A week,
Yeah, we'll see you the week after next.
Yeah.
Absolutely madness.
Can we play you every week?
Yeah. Honestly,
Big up, Nuruddin.
I actually think you will play better at Old Trafford, but we'll see.
Well,
We'll
we
see.
like going to Old Trafford the last couple of years, so you never know. But look, Nuruddin.
Nice
Big
one,
up,
boys. Thanks for the invite. Big up.
Peace. So, VG, I'll give that on to you.
Apart from the goal, like Nuruddin said, they barely troubled him. He had very little to do apart from Garnacho's shot. So 7. And I'm trying to be as generous as I can here. I don't want to give him too high a rating. 6 or 7. I'll go with 7, but it's in the bracket of 6 and 7 for me.
Yeah. Klein, I'm going to give him an 8 because I think to stop someone like Rashford on his scoring streak and making Rashford pretty much non-existent all game, I think he deserves an 8 today.
I told you, Copa's Cope ain't a myth.
Chris Richards.
For his first full start and coming into a pressure cooker environment where we've been absolute toilet the last couple of games, 8. Only reason he's got an 8 is because I want to change my man of the match because I do think you're right on Doucouré. But yeah, I'll give Chris Richards a solid 8. I don't think he put much of a foot wrong.
Yeah, I think I'll have the same thing for Mark because I think Mark, as well as him playing really well and being very comfortable and dealing with Weghorst and Bruno Fernandes and Anthony, I think he showed that he's actually a very good captain as well because there were some points where Richards was out of position a little bit and he had to kick him into gear a little bit at the start of the match.
But just before we get on to Mitchell, can I just say it was so funny watching Mitchell bat up Anthony. I went, that's right, Mitchell, stand your ground, mate. Do that.
Mitchell's just Mitchell didn't even do anything to him. Anthony tried to barge him over. Mitchell didn't move and he went flying.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like Mitchell just wasn't having it. He was like, hey, shut up, man. Get out of my face, man.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, take Ty.
You know what? Since he's come back, we've now had to drop the level a bit with him, which is a relief because I think we overhyped him a fair bit too much. But to be fair, we haven't had many a defensive left back since we've been back in the Prem. But 7. I don't like again. There wasn't an awful lot wrong with our defense last night, apart from the goal. But you know that's what charity professional football clubs defending does for you. Just when we think we might go in 0-0 at halftime, we give up a goal that we really should be closing down. But Mitchell had nothing to do with that. So yeah, 7.
I'll take Will Hughes. I'll give Hughesy I think I give him a 7 because he came in. He needed to impress. He impressed. He was very good when defending. Very good. He actually drove. He drove with the ball as well. I think that was the thing I was most impressed with. Because I remember one time when he was pressed at the byline and he dribbled his way out of it. And I'm thinking, I haven't seen Schlupp do that ever. But the only reason why it's a 7 is because his passing was dreadful. If his passing was better, he'd get a much higher rating.
Yeah. That's fair.
Check Doucouré.
MOTM. Not a shadow of a doubt. He was the MOTM. But if we're gonna, it's got to be a solid 9. You know,
without a doubt.
If he scored, it would have been a solid 10 without question. But
I wouldn't even say that. I'd say if he played the whole 90, it would have been a 10.
Yeah, but do you know what made me laugh? Right, is when he went off. I think was it Luca that replaced him.
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh, here we go again. The Palace fan base are going to start crying that Luca's on the pitch. I can't wait for the meltdown. Please give me the meltdown to just absorb on Palace Twitter. And Luca actually held it together. And I went, see, this is the thing. Luca's by no means the answer anymore, but he's still a professional. And if you'd offered me Milivojevic or who was that guy we had a couple of years ago that was awful in defensive midfield? Was it McCarthy? James McCarthy. It's like, yo, levels. Levels between James McCarthy and
McCarthy, the best thing he's ever done was foul Gundogan and then get away with it because then he just passed it to Wilf and then we scored. That's the best thing he's ever done.
Yeah,
but
although the video to announce him as a signing was so embarrassing, man.
Yeah, it was that one, wasn't it?
I was like, what is this, man?
You know what the stupidest thing was? Why was McCarthy doing this outside of Morley's?
Hey, only Palace, mate. Only Palace.
I'll take Elise. Goal scorer, match winner. Dreadful game, though.
Well,
yeah. I'll give him a 7 because the goal on its own gives you 7 points. That's how great it was. But the rest of the game,
performance, dead food.
Yeah, 7.
Was dead food.
7, big time 7.
Yeah.
Wilf Zaha.
Pocketed by Wan-Bissaka, and I'm not even going to remotely try and say otherwise. 6.
100%. I'll take
Edouard or Mateta.
Yeah, because I think I have a probably more controversial opinion. I quite liked how Mateta played.
Nah, listen, go for it. Whichever you want, take it, man.
I'll take Mateta.
All right, cool. Go for it.
I'm going to give Mateta a 7 because I think that the hold-up play was brilliant, and I think that choosing him to go up against Martinez was the perfect idea because he's like an old school like battering ram of a centre forward, isn't he? And that's exactly what you need when they've got a short centre back. And look, the first time Mateta ran into him, he had a head injury. I don't know what I don't know if Niradin's correct that he actually elbowed him. But listen, if you're that much taller than him, elbows are a little bit lower, you know what I mean? So
look, from what I understand of it, if the shoes look like I saw Fellaini get away with a very, very, very blatant elbow to one of our players a couple of years back.
In the throat as well, wasn't it?
Huh?
It was in the throat, I remember.
Yeah. But they were saying, that's not an elbow. Get over it. Stop crying about it. So when I seen that and then I said, oh, it's not an elbow. Don't worry. Stop crying because I put up a picture of Fellaini elbowing one of our players. And they were like, oh, wow. It's like, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, just don't try it, man.
But yeah, I'll give Mateta a 7 because I think the hold-up play was good, and he played very well. It was a strange experience, but it was the first time I've seen him play well without any hair. We want your hair back. We want your hair back.
Thumb for a striker. We've got a thumb for a striker.
Edouard in the 10.
Do you know what? As much as I don't like playing players out of position like we did last night, I don't think he did quite well there. He was unlucky that De Gea didn't. Sorry that De Gea got to that ball, and Mark Gay was also unlucky to not score as well. But I thought Edouard was all right. I mean, when he went out wide, he looked completely lost. I think you mentioned that in your fan cam. Like he may as well have been down Croydon Market. He had no idea where he was out on the.
He was probably Morley's.
Yeah, he probably went Morley's trying to look for a bag. Yeah, trust me. But Edouard, 7. Had he scored, if that had gone in, oh my lord, it would have been.
That's a wonder goal.
Yeah. Oh, listen, that's a wonder goal that we'd never stop talking about. But yeah, I'll give Eddie a 7.
I'll take Ayew. I'm going to give Ayew an 8. I know he came on late, and people probably disagree with me, but for a very strange reason, and it's probably a very Crystal Palace reason as well, we take off both our strikers, and then we start looking threatening on goal. It's so Palace to do it. You take off your most forward-thinking players and you look like you're going to score a goal. But I think how he linked up play, how he just made a nuisance of himself, how he wins fouls, how he drives at players, I think he just did everything he needed to when he came on. And look, the sub worked. We got a goal. Definite 8. Eze.
7. Looked better coming off the bench, tried to get in and amongst it, and looked like the Eze of old. So maybe that's a key that getting dropped was to kick up the backside he needed, as you said earlier, because I think some of the players have been too comfortable knowing that they can't be dropped, because Vieira's tried to stick to the same blueprint week in, week out. He changed it last night, and lo and behold, it was not Cherry Professional Football Club. For a change, because I was thinking, I'm just waiting for it now. I'm
100%.
so used to it happening, I'm just waiting for it.
Hmm.
That's why I'm glad I didn't do a watch along last night, because honestly, I don't think my heart would have been able to take it. Pause.
I'll tell you what, yeah, we had a very big pause moment. I had to cut out my fan cam. So I'll send it to you later. I'll send you the full fan cam later.
I remember Rich talking about some kind of a pause moment or something.
Yeah, I'll send you the full fan cam after we've done, because I cut out quite a bit of it. Let's go through the others pretty quickly. I'll take Luca. I'll give him a 6. Came in, held it down. Not much else to say. Didn't really make a mistake. And finally, Schlupp.
Impact sub Schlupp, which is what he's best known for. 7. I mean, he tried to run around a bit, cause havoc where we needed him to. So maybe that's a sign that we need him on the bench more, and maybe we need Will Hughes more in midfield. Because although Hughes' passing was shocking, it's nice to have a midfielder that's not afraid to get in a tackle.
Definitely.
Because with Schlupp, he's just a passenger. He lets everything go past him. So it's like, mate, you do realize you're being paid to play for the club. You're not there to stand like a traffic cone. Do something.
Definitely. And finally, Vieira. I'll give him an 8. I'm happy with the subs that he made and when he made them, and I'm very happy with the lineup. I thought we set up very well to play against these guys. Went very, very rogue with the starting lineup as well, I might add, because it's a bit of a strange one if you look at it. Because I'm thinking, oh God, are we going 4-4-2? That's what I thought.
Yeah, I was like,
listen, the gamble paid off. I'll give him an 8. What about you?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, I was looking at the lineup going, this could really get ugly if this does not pay off. But lo and behold, it did. And we can now go into the Newcastle game with a sliver of confidence. Definitely. Which is weird, because I don't mind it when we've got no confidence, because we know not to expect much. But now that we've got something, it's like, oh crap! Now we actually have to get our hopes up.
We're going to go down again. We're going to start doing this again. Down the table. But Nate, it's been a pleasure. This was the Manchester United 1, Crystal Palace 1 match reaction.
Yeah.
And we'll see you for the Newcastle preview, which I believe is tomorrow at the same time.
It is indeed.
So, people, we're out. Up the Palace.
Palace.
Eagles!